right, Maxime raised the thumb. We are 1 minute away from the contact, so we will start to call about now. So we can see the antennas already, and I'll start calling the ISS about now. Oscar Radio 4, India Sierra Sierra. This is Fox X-Ray 5 YOTA. How do you read? Oscar Radio 4, India Sierra Sierra. This is Fox X-Ray 5 Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha. How'd you read? It's gonna take a while. Take your time, man. Oscar Radio 4, India Sierra Sierra, Fox X-Ray 5, Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha. How'd you read? Oscar Radio 4, India Sierra Sierra. This is Fox X-Ray 5, Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha. Do you copy? I hear a little bit of Oscar Radio 4, India Sierra Sierra. This is Fox X-Ray 5, Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha. How do you copy?
Foxtrot X-Ray 5, Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha. This is the International Space Station. You are just coming into range. I'm reading you 3 by 3. Tell me.
Roger, Roger. OR4 ISS is FX5 Yoda. Thank you so much for getting there. We are reading you also about 3 something like that, but we are here all clear. We are here with around 77 participants from the Youngsters on the Air summer camp in France, Jamville. We have approximately around 29, 30 different countries with young people aging from 15 to 26. And they're pretty ready for this event. How do you copy? Over.
You're coming in 4 by 4 now and only getting better, Yoda. And we really are looking forward to talking to everyone. Bienvenue. Welcome to France and Janvier. And welcome to the International Space Station. I am ready for questions.
Roger, Roger. We start with a question. Let's go. Over.
Hello, my name is Bence, Hotel Alpha 1 Bravo Bravo. What types of emergencies do you train for on ISS? Over.
Bence, hello from the International Space Station. We worry about mainly fires and depressurization. So our training tells us how to find a fire and to put it out, and depressurization, if we get hit by a meteorite or something, where is the leak and how to patch it. Over.
Hi, this is Megan, Echo India 5 Lima Alpha. What's the biggest question or curiosity you had about life before becoming an astronaut? Over.
Hello, Megan. And the biggest thing I wanted to know is how people could live in the solar system, not just on beautiful planet Earth. And then I got a chance to try it aboard the International Space Station. Great question. Over.
Hi, I am Manuel, X-Ray Echo 1 Juliet Mike Fox. What was the most unexpected thing that happened to you in space? Over.
Well, hola. Most unexpected thing was I got to go on a spacewalk in Russian spacesuit. That was unexpected and unusual for American, but I ended up doing 6 Russian spacewalks. Over.
Hello, I'm Yudai JK1FUI. What is the funniest thing to do in space? Over.
Yudai-san, the funniest thing to do in space is to fly and then to look out the window. We have the most beautiful planet in the solar system. Over.
Hi, this is Tobias, OE5TWE. How are crew and equipment on the ISS protected from solar radiation? Over.
Yeah, hello, Tobias, aboard the station. Mainly, with our main protection is that we don't fly too far away from the planet Earth. So the magnetic fields of planet Earth are the biggest protection from solar radiation. Other than that, we have protection on the outside of our space station that reflects the light. Over.
Hi, I'm Pius, Lima Yankee 5 Lima Papa. What were your first thoughts after seeing the Earth from above? Over.
Hello, Pius. And this is the International Space Station. Welcome aboard. And seeing Earth from space is magical. It will change anybody, no matter how hard their heart is. For me, I couldn't breathe for 30 seconds. English has this word, breathtaking. It is magnificent. I hope you and all of your colleagues there get to see Earth from space someday. Over.
Hi, I'm Adam, Oscar Mike 1, Alpha Sierra Zulu. Can you describe what the ISS sounds like inside? Over.
Good morning, Adam. Yes, the International Space Station sounds like a quiet airplane on the inside, except that you can hear all the communications. Usually if you're flying in an airplane, you can't hear the pilot talking. Here we have 7 people communicating with mission control centers all around planet Earth. Over.
Hello, I'm Sophie, Mike 7 India Juliet Golf. How does your body feel when you come back to Earth after being in space? Over.
Hello, Sophie. Yes, I wondered that myself on my first mission. And if you exercise a lot, even on long-duration missions, your body feels weak when you first start. Your balance is off, but then you quickly come back. Over.
Hi, I'm Alexandra, Delta Oscar 7 Yankee Lima Alpha. Was there an experiment where you had to improvise something? Over.
Hello, Alexandra. On my first mission aboard the space station, we did not have a lot of science to do, so we made our own with the help of the ground, and we actually used honey and water to look at the fluid physics of how things behave in space. Over.
Hello, I'm Kamil, Sierra Oscar 8 Kilo Papa. How often do you get on the radio to make QSOs with other hams? Over.
Hello, Camille. I wish I had more time on the station to get on the radio to make QSOs, but I do make a point at least once a week to make some random calls anywhere over the planet. It's a lot of fun. Over.
Hi, I'm Sofia, India Uniform 3, Papa Sierra Romeo. Is amateur radio important for the ISS?
Ciao, Sophia. Yes, amateur radio is very important for ISS. It helps us keep in touch with folks on the ground and is an alternate or emergency way to communicate if we ever have trouble with the ISS comm systems. Over.
Hello, I'm Paul-André Porté, Foxtrot 4 India Lima Victor. Back on Earth, how often are you active on the air and what's your favorite bands and mode? Over?
Bonjour, Paul. Ça va? So back on Earth, I wish I had a ham radio set, so I don't. So the only time I'm really active on the air is when I'm up here in space. Over.
Hi, Matisse, Yankee, Lima 3, Alpha, Romeo, Zulu. How do you cope with being away from family for long periods of time? Over.
Matisse, great question. It is the toughest thing about spaceflight for me is to miss my wife and my 3 children, my mother, my father, my family. So being away is tough, but I get a chance now and then to make phone calls and email. Over.
Hello, this is Leo, Niner Alpha 3 Lima Echo Tango. What is the first thing you would do back on Earth? Over.
Leo, the first thing I will do coming back to Earth is to hug my family. Over.
Hi, I'm Marcus, Oscar Zulu 5, Mike Juliet Lima. Can you describe your first ham radio contact from the ISS? Over.
Hello, Marcus. My first contact was over Saskatchewan, Canada. I've never been, but I got to talk to a farmer driving his tractor. Over. It was fun.
Hi, I'm Hannah, Echo 79, Hotel Italy. Will humanity be able to live on another planet or moon in the upcoming decades? Over.
And yes, that's why we're aboard the space station, so that we can help humanity leave our cradle of planet Earth and go across the solar system and to the stars. Over.
Hi, I'm Yaka, Sierra 5-1 Juliet Kilo. In your opinion, what skills are essential in becoming an astronaut? Over.
Hello, Jaka. Yes, to become an astronaut, you must be curious and to learn new things. Over.
Hello, this is Dennis, YT3DA. Have you operated in Morse code as part of your amateur radio or other communication activities? Over.
Hello, Dennis. One would think that Morse code is obsolete, but it is not. Morse code does come in handy sometimes, even in space. Over.
Hi, this is Dimitris, SV60AC. Does the time passed in space feels any longer or shorter than on Earth? Over.
Hello, Dimitris. And yes, they keep us so busy aboard the space station here that the days go by so quickly. We're already here on day like 18 or 19 of my mission, and it feels like we just got here. Over.
Hi, I'm Juan, Echo Alpha 1, Foxtrot Sierra Charlie. Is the growth of plants or microorganisms on board impacting oxygen levels? Over.
Hola, Juan. We wish that we had more plants aboard the International Space Station to impact our oxygen. In the future, I think that our space stations will have them, but here we do not. We use oxygen that comes from water. Over.
Okay, that was all the questions. Thank you very much, Mike, for the contact. They are all very thrilled here and very happy to have this contact. So I wish you a bon voyage here in the ISS from all the participants in the Yoda Summer Camp in France. Thank you very much. 73, over.
Merci beaucoup, and welcome everybody to Youngsters on the Air Summer Camp. I hope you make the most of it, and I hope that all of you get a chance to fly in space someday. And knowing things like amateur radio is a great skill to have, especially for space flight. So thank you, everyone. Please enjoy your camp, and cheers, and 7-3s from the International Space Station. Mike Fink speaking. Over and out.
Thank you very much. This is Fox X-Ray 5 Yoda. Over.
And this is KE5AIT, Mike Fink, and OR4ISS. Over and out.